Well, good evening and welcome to another webisode of how to create effective commercials and stop wasting money with ineffective advertising. I'm Tim Burt from timburtmedia.com. That's timburtmedia.com, and we have slowly started covering the basics, the elements of what makes an effective commercial, what makes a good commercial. And if you haven't watched the previous episodes, please go back and do so, because this is a linear thing. I'm building each week as we go along. And tonight, I had about 5 topics that I wanted to cover, or that popped into my head that I thought would be really, really good for tonight. But there's one, actually there's 2 things that I want to talk about before we actually start building or writing a commercial. And one of them is, we talk about the message. What is the message? How do you get to the core of exactly what it is you're trying to advertise or communicate if you are a business owner? And one of the biggest myths and misconceptions that I want to dispel tonight is that only men can talk to men and only women can talk to women in a commercial, an advertisement. Now, of course, there are some exceptions to those rules, and those aren't even really rules. I consider them more guidelines. For a guy, if you're talking about, prostate cancer or something to do with, your private area, okay, I get it. Same goes for women. You're not going to hear a lot of men voicing commercials for Tampax, right? You're not going to hear a lot of men voicing commercials for mammograms or breast screenings or whatever the case may be. Cervical cancer, things like that. So when it gets to a very, very emotional, very sensitive, private matter, yeah, okay, I can see the women talking to women or the men talking to men. But when you talk about doing a commercial for a mall, and if the client, who is the mall owner, says, well, we have all of these new stores and we want to do a radio or TV commercial, and only a woman can voice this commercial. Well, I'm sorry, guys don't shop at malls? When did that happen? An auto parts store, for guys, let's kind of flip it a little bit. When have you heard, when would it be not okay? When would it not be okay for a woman to talk about, hey, there's a sale going on right now on wrenches or, spark plugs, batteries, whatever the case may be. It's the message that is the most important thing. Whoever is conveying or delivering that message, 99 times out of 100, doesn't really matter, if you're reasonable about it. Now, are you going to have a kid talk about, your batteries for your car? Maybe in a certain context, but generally, no. So let's dispel that myth right now. And in fact, I was watching TV last night with Robin, and there was a commercial that came on for a new product from Avon, and it's called Anew, ANEW Genera or something. I can't remember the second part of it, but this is a makeup. I believe it was a moisturizer put out by Avon, and the commercial was voiced by a guy. So do you think that Avon said, does it really matter that a woman delivers this message? No, it is the message that is the most important thing. Whoever delivers it usually doesn't matter. So when you hear a client say, well, only a woman can talk to a woman. Well, if that's the case, then all of those guys that are doing morning radio and doing morning TV, I guess they should just be fired, right? Because they don't know how to talk to women. And conversely, guys only know how to talk to guys. I know if you're a woman and you're saying that right now, you're going, yeah, that's probably true. But it's actually not. So let's kind of put that out of the way first before we start building our commercial. The second thing that I wanted to talk about tonight is the use of music in a radio or TV spot, and this shares a lot in common with who is delivering the message. The man-woman thing. when a client is, especially, I do a lot of radio spots. I do some TV, I do some web spots, but primarily my bread and butter is radio. And so it always kills me when I hear, well, okay, we've recorded the voice part, or here's the script part. Now, I want you to put some music behind it, especially if it's for something, a community college or, a dentist office, something like that. Susie Cream Cheese Bagel Company, for instance. I always harken back to, remember your most favorite teacher in school. I don't know who it is. It could be elementary, junior high, high school, college, wherever. It could be a lecturer. It could be just a public speaker. And I highly doubt that when you're listening to them that they have a boombox or they have music piped in playing behind them, that's something wallpaper and background, something that's, to fill up the space. You're interested in the message. So a lot of the commercials that I record, I do what we call dry, that is without music, primarily, or at least I try to, unless the music supports the message. And by that, I mean, does it set a scene? Does it set a mood? Or is it for a concert? Is it for a live performance? Is it promoting an artist? In that case, then yes, obviously you're going to have music. But to just have music behind the message in a commercial, just to have it, it's kind of pointless. It really is. Now, again, ethnicity, and you want to talk about a Chinese restaurant. Okay, you want to have some Oriental music, some Asian music behind you. Okay, fine, I get that. But to have music just there, just to have it, doesn't really add anything. And that's the question that should be asked. What does this add to the commercial? If you're adding in music or sound effects or another voice, what does it add? Is it distracting? Does it take away from the core message? If it does, time to lose it. Because essentially, remember, you're selling one person at a time. That one person, we call her Susie Cream Cheese. Are you selling Susie Cream Cheese, whatever it is that you have to offer, your good product or service? If not, if you wouldn't buy it from you, then why would you expect anybody else to buy it from you? So, I'm Tim Burt, and that's tonight's lesson. And now here's a quick note. Next week, I'll be on vacation, so the program next week will actually shift to Wednesday night. So don't look for me on Tuesday because I won't be here. And actually, oh, wait a minute. Wednesday, it might be Wednesday, might be Thursday. I'll post you, keep you posted. But again, if you have a question, you can email me, timburtmedia@gmail.com, timburtmedia@gmail.com, and check me out on WordPress, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, Tim Burt Media. I hope you have a great week, and I will see you next week. And I'm Tim Burt, and I thank you so much for watching.